Ahora sí, tell me un poquito más. Hola, I'm Kim.
And I'm Cindy Gaxiola.
And this is our podcast, Tell Me Un Poquito Más, Season 4. You already know.
And in today's episode, we have a very special guest, a good friend of ours, a fitness entrepreneur, an author on...
You already know, Chiquis Keto.
And
Keto recipes.
Bomb Keto Recipes. And I'm just super excited because we're going to talk about so many things, all things fitness, health, self-love, and just believing in yourself. She has a very inspirational story.
I don't think we should make them wait longer, Cindy.
Let's do this.
Let's welcome our special guest,
Miss Sarah Koudouzian.
It's always so nerve-wracking when you do that intro. You're like, people always ask me, they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm going to have to get back to you on that, because it's like, what do you do exactly?
That is true.
It's just like, especially because when I just feel I'm not meant to do just one thing, and it's just trying to explain, especially to your Middle Eastern family, like, what do you do exactly?
How do I narrow it down into 2 words?
Yes.
In a little bit, we're going to hear about your inspirational story, but at the end, we're going to have a rapid fire of just health questions, like tips, what you do to cleanse your body, what you eat before or after the gym. I mean, shoot, I want to know.
All the questions we have, we gonna get answers today.
You already know.
But I actually just found this out. I can't believe we've been friends. I just found out you were born in Lebanon.
I was born in Beirut. I am Lebanese Armenian, and my family from the Armenian genocide, they migrated to Lebanon, and some actually went to Argentina, my grandmother's family. So they're like, when they say, why do you have some Latin flavor in you? It's because I guess it was just instilled in me from early on. But my family, we went to Lebanon, and we came out here because of the war. So we are refugees out here because our building was even bombed, and my parents picked up and said, we got to go to the U.S. And my mom's family was already here. They had all left, and we were like the last ones back there. And that's how we came about here. So survival mode since I was a kid.
Do you see how now that you're older and you're able to like see and reflect, do you see how that impacted the way you were raised, the way even, I don't know, your mom approached certain situations with you?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel that I watched my parents come here with no money, no English knowledge, and, they knew all these other languages. But coming out here and just establishing themselves and their business, I think watching as a kid, I was really watching entrepreneurship happening right in front of me. So the best education I received was watching my parents figure it out. And I think that's something that we don't really get taught in school. And that's why when people ask, what do you do? I'm like, well, I do a little bit of everything, because I learned early on how to hustle, how to move, how to make things happen for yourself. And I can definitely say that my upbringing had so much to do with that.
Did you always know what you wanted to do, or how did you get into fitness? You went to school, you graduated, you have
Not
your
by
degree.
choice.
Okay.
I actually, school was never something I wanted to go to. I was a tennis player. I was competitively playing. I'd been training all those years to go pro, and I'd been playing since I was 5 years old, competing throughout the United States and ranked in the top 10. And then I had a career-ending injury, this little thing right here. You could see it.
Wow.
You could see it right here.
Yeah,
yes, and it was a career-ending injury.
How old
and
were you?
I was homeschooled actually throughout high school because I was competing, and I was 15 and a half.
When that happened?
When that happened, and I didn't know what to do. The only thing that I knew was tennis. So since I was 5 years old, I was trained to say that I'm going to be a tennis player. Like, growing up, a lot of people don't know, a lot of kids don't know what they want to be. They say 10 different things, but throughout the years, up until I was 15, when you asked me what I wanted to be, it's a tennis player. And I was training 7 days a week, and, I come from a very strict background, so it's like very militant style, in a sense, where it's being tired is not accepted, or being hurt, you play through it. And being in this generation now where you're learning so much more because of science and learning how valuable and important rest is, it's a completely different upbringing from what I was used to. So when that injury happened, I went into severe depression. I was eating everything in sight. I probably put on, and I don't have the photos, and I wish I did. I was so insecure. I didn't want to take the photos because I'd gained about 25 pounds. I was eating Jack in the Box. I wasn't paying attention to the quality of the foods. I wasn't paying attention to what I was putting into my body, which is so important now that fast forward, especially into 2022 with all the research and everything done. So for me, my God, I had to pivot. I learned like 2020, I know a lot of people had to learn how to pivot, but I had to learn that at 15.
Like, how did you get yourself out of depression? How did you learn to like, oh, I actually need to like feed my body well? What I put into, just because you're 15 or you're 16, you're going to look good. I mean, you're going to look good if you're being active, but that doesn't mean you're living a healthy lifestyle. So how did you understand that process of like, it's important what you put into your body?
Honestly, it was an internal feeling. I said, I just woke up one day and I was like, this doesn't feel good at all. And I said, and what have I made changes that have made me feel this way? And I started reading and figuring out things about food and how food is medicine and how it disrupts certain hormones if you're not eating well, and what are the hormones that I've probably disrupted now that my physical level has gone down and my eating has gone out the door. What is it? And so I started really doing reading and research and started experimenting with different foods and seeing how I feel after it. And it was just so crazy because for me, I didn't realize how much of a difference it was going to make, especially energy-wise, and just wanting to nap all the time. I'm like, I'm not a bear. You cannot hibernate throughout the day. And so it was a lot of that.
I feel like when it comes down to health and fitness, it's going to sound so ignorant of me to say this, but it's the truth. Like, I feel like we already know so much in terms of why it's important, right? We know it's good for energy. We know that food is fuel for our body. But even then, we still choose to eat this way. We still choose to.
There's temptation everywhere.
So where do you feel? Because I personally struggle with this. I'm like, oh, I'll start on Monday.
It's Friday. I can eat my pizza.
And then Monday starts, and then I don't start on Monday. I'm like, well, next week.
Yeah.
So how do we start? Where do we start?
You start where you are. And that's the thing there. This whole starting Monday thing, it's like, who made it up? Why did you pick Monday? Like society is like, we're going to start Monday. Like everything is on a Monday. And it's like, why? What if you don't have Monday? And there are people who get, they go into a doctor's appointment on a Tuesday to get bad news told to them. And they're like, you don't even have till Monday. So it's like that mindset as intense that it sounds. And I think people forget that you're okay to be human in the sense of if you do mess up, because I don't even like to use the word mess up. If you do, it's okay. Just why do you have to mess up throughout the day? It's like if you accidentally ran a red light because you were trying to make that yellow, does that mean you're going to continue all the other red lights? It's like, I was bad here, so I'm just going to keep going. No. And it's just taking that punishment mentality out. Like, it's okay.
Because then it makes it a negative thing.
Absolutely. And just putting all this negative connotations and this whole extremity. Like, for me, I believe life is about balance. And I am the person that believes in, Monday through Saturday being as clean as possible and indulging on Sundays. Like, I don't even use the word cheat. I don't like it. I won't let anyone, not my friends, not my clients, not anyone say, oh, I cheated today. And I'm like,
cheating is
never
good in any capacity.
In any capacity at all.
Let's make this clear right now.
Exactly.
And when you indulge. Like, you don't
Oh, I don't hold back. I
Don't feel bad.
I'm just gonna reveal the secret. We just had portos before we filmed this episode.
We're filming on a Sunday.
Yes, it's on a Sunday, but there are obviously tricks to do it. So if let's say you're gonna indulge and you're gonna have this really decadent meal and you want to feel good about it, even though you don't have to do this, but what I do for myself that is worked and what I like and it makes me feel good. Because I don't look at exercise as punishment. So if I'm not going to get like a gym workout in, I'll get a dance workout in or do some cardio, go on a hike, play some tennis, and then go into enjoying the rest of my day. But if I'm going to have like brunch in the morning, I'm most likely fasting and I'll have my green juice that has parsley, celery, lemon, green apple, and ginger. That's the entire recipe.
Okay.
And then I'll enjoy my whatever it is. I have like things that I do with segments on my page where it's like, if you're gonna indulge, like this is what I do, and here's how you can indulge. Like you don't have to get every single meal to be that indulgent meal. Like if you're going with girlfriends, you can share it. So the main indulgent thing, we're gonna share it.
I love that.
We're going to have a cocktail. It's going to be a no sugar cocktail, no refined sugar cocktail, and just learning how to balance those kinds of things.
Do you feel like you are always motivated to be in this healthy lifestyle, workout?
Eating healthy,
For me, motivation is what gets you started. It's not what keeps you going. What keeps you going are your goals. When I'm exercising, this is what's going to happen. If I start on week 1, this is what I'm going to feel like on week 12. So those are the things, those reminders. I have visualization boards all around. I have a schedule. I schedule in my workouts, and I am type A personality, entrepreneur mindset, where it's like, I can't wait for that check off. And if I don't do that check off, I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh my goodness, what?
Yeah. So I feel like you bring up such a good point, like the whole what you're going to get in week 12, because I feel like a lot of us, I can speak for myself, I want immediate results.
Absolutely.
It's like I go to the gym and then I look at my stomach and I'm like, why isn't my stomach?
Are the abs?
Yeah, like why isn't my stomach flat yet? So it's like not being so caught up on immediate results.
I mean, we're in a society where it's instant gratification all day. You can just look at your phone, order whatever you want, swipe on whatever person you're interested in, slide into whatever's DMs. Like it's instant and it's quick. And it's just so sad because we underestimate what we can do in a year and overestimate what we do in a week. And it's just reversing that around. So really ask yourself, where can you be in a year? And if that's too much for you, then for me, it's really sitting down and saying, why are we looking so quickly to get to step Z already? You want to go A to Z in a week, in a month. And it's really turning that around and say, imagine what I would do. And it's incorporating that 1% rule, little bit each day, and then looking at your end results. And that's what adds up.
Now, how do we know if we are living a healthy lifestyle? Because I could say like, yeah, I'm healthy, but...
Or you could look, like sometimes we base it off of, oh, you look healthy, you are healthy. And that's like, not always the case.
Yeah, like how do we know if we are living a healthy lifestyle?
In my opinion, I think there's universal health and then there's what's healthy to you. And for me, healthy is being every day waking up, being able to just go in and do what I'm doing with feeling good. And I'm feeling good. It's like I was at my fittest when I was a tennis player, and I don't think I was at my healthiest.
Wow.
At all, because of everything that was going on the insides and, you know, the type of food choices that I was making and, you know, feeling so tired. So it's like, yes, I'm healthy on the tennis court, but what about everything else? So I think, what is healthy to you? What is the definition of health to you?
And I think, as cheesy as it sounds, health is not just a physical thing. Obviously it's like what you're feeding yourself, but also, like you said, it's like mentally, how is that aspect of things? And food does play an important role in
yeah.
that. And
Yes.
there are studies, there's literally psychiatrists that talk about the impact that the food that we eat has on our brain and our mental health.
Absolutely. Especially processed foods, packaged foods, foods, sugars,
Sugars.
all of that. Absolutely.
I feel like sugar, it's like a love-hate relationship because I love it, but I know I shouldn't. I struggle, like, every time I eat, I feel like I need sugar. I mean, I feel to try to make myself feel better, I have dark chocolate, but I don't know. You're the expert. Is that a truth or a myth? Is dark chocolate okay to eat after?
It is if you're having good dark chocolate, and the good dark chocolate is a little bit more bitter. It's the cacao. So cacao is the start of chocolate.
Okay.
And so if you're having predominantly cacao and turning it around and looking what that sugar is, that's how you're going to know if you're having the good stuff. And it's actually amazing for you. Okay. It has a lot of antioxidants in it. And I think cacao for me is a little bit too bitter. So I like to play around with recipes and take cacao. And for instance, one of my favorite things to do is create my almond butter cups. And I'll take pure cacao, which has no sugar. Okay. And it's very bitter. And then I put coconut oil in there, and you just put it in like a stir pan, and coconut oil, almond butter, and monk fruit, pure monk fruit, which sweetens it. And it's this natural sweetener, and it helps balance out that bitterness of cacao. And then cinnamon in there. And then you just put it all together, put it in like little mini muffin cups, and then silicone cups, and then toss them in the freezer. And you take it out once it's cooked and ready, and it tastes delicious.
And that could be like your little dessert?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It tastes so good. I think that's the main thing, and that's what I like to teach clients. You don't have to feel like you're missing out. Yeah. It's that FOMO mentality where it's like, if I'm eating healthy, I can't have this, and it feels like that. Right. And it's the healthy aspect of things comes from choosing the right foods that work for you, because each and every single body is different, and giving it flavor. I think that's about it. It's eating healthy without compromising flavor. And that was a big role in creating the Chiquis Keto book, because I wanted to make sure that
Model aquí. Like the price is right.
Just a slight flex. Just a slight flex. You know what it is though? Like I used to be like, oh, just like a subtle flex or a slight flex. And now I'll just flex it because that is my baby.
You
that
worked
is my
so
child.
hard.
Let's like leave it here. Can we leave it here?
No.
Hey, this is like amazing.
No. It's a big thing. I think a lot of us, we look for other people to give us the compliments, and you're looked a certain way if you give yourself that own, proud moment to really talk about it, and you're looked at a certain way. Of course, I believe in humility, but also being humble enough to know what you put in behind something that took so long to create. And now I'll flex it.
How did this even start?
Oh my God. Since I was a kid, I was very much into writing and getting into cooking. And I started working with Chiquis a few months before that book idea was pitched. And I had it in my head where I was like, we have such great chemistry together. We establish a great relationship, and I'm going to just overshare it because it is just so funny. And people are like, is that really how it happened? And I was like, yes. I went to the J-Lo concert, her very, very last show. It was just within the first couple of months training Chiquis. And Chiquis also had a concert out there, and it was going to be my very first regional Mexican banda concert. So I hadn't been. But prior to that, we were all going to the J-Lo show. And I looked at her and I was like, this woman is 50 years old. She is in heels like this, doing the most acrobatic movements, and doesn't even look tired. And I said, that's how much she worked herself to get here. And she wanted it. And it didn't matter how tired she must have felt because, biologically at the same time, but she defied that clock because she's been taking care of herself so well. And I said to myself, that's it. You've been holding back on this book idea. this is it. This is your J-Lo moment. Went to Chiquis' show. I was very inspired. Like, the inspiration came into play because how she walked in and how she had her show. This was my first regional Mexican show. So really seeing how she put things together with her own flair gave me the idea of the book. I said, I visualized that book right there. Took a flight back from Las Vegas. We took a 5 a.m. flight. I put the pitch together in 24 hours. I sat there. I didn't sleep. I did not sleep. I downloaded Canva. I was still getting to know these kinds of things and really dabbling in that business area through the knowledge of learning things through Google, and downloaded Canva, and I put the whole thing together and went to, on that Monday, we had a training session, and I said, I'm going to take my laptop, because I'd been trying to meet with her, but our schedules were conflicting. And I said, screw it. You're going to do it you have it now. If you don't do it now, someone else is going to do it. So during our training session, sin vergüenza, I did not care. I pulled up my laptop while she was like breathing through an exercise, and I was like, pulled it out, and I put like the visuals. I Googled all her photos and like put it all together and created a book. Wow. And she looked at me and she was like, what did you do? And I said, this is the idea I have for you. And from there, it went into fruition, got signed to Simon & Schuster, which is a huge publishing company, and became, just embarking in this thing that I had no idea. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I was Googling through everything, through like major meetings with like power playing women involved on this team, and Googling and finding out who they are and figuring out like, oh, I'm here with the big leagues. And I had to figure it out. I had to figure out how I was going to make sure that I also had a seat at that table, because it was very easy for somebody to feel like, in my position, oh, here's the trainer, la entrenadora está aquí, She knows her, so this is why she's getting that. And it's like, no, I'm going to show you why I deserve a seat at this table too. Yeah. So that's how it came into fruition. I don't believe that you should say you don't know how to do something. I feel like I will learn. Yeah. And the second you say I don't know, you miss that opportunity. People don't want to hear I don't know. There are different ways to rephrase that now. And it's like, I'll get back to you. Yes, I can do that because I'm going to learn and I'm going to figure it out.
That, I think you figure it out. Like in the moment, yeah, you might not know, but if you want it, you will figure it out.
Absolutely. Anything is figure-outable.
Especially nowadays.
Absolutely.
We have no excuses.
No, you have absolutely no excuse. It all comes down to how much do you want it. I mean, it comes with any career choices that I have made.
That's not your traditional Vegas story. Like,
no.
She went to Vegas
and it came back.
She went to Vegas. She did not sleep.
I love that.
No, but I love that because it's true. You saw an opportunity to really make this happen. And it's an opportunity. Yes, it's for you. It's for you and the dream that you had. But it's also for us. It's an opportunity because no one is helping us get these recipes con el sazón that caters to the foods that we want to eat. Because I think we're so used to thinking that eating healthy is boring, eating healthy, living a healthy lifestyle
but it's not.
is just a piece of pescado, a piece of chicken with boiled vegetables. And yeah, I mean, that doesn't sound good, and that's not the lifestyle I want to live.
That's like the most important thing for me, because I mean, with my segments that I do on my social media, it's like I want to stop giving healthy food a bad rap. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. Everybody that DMs me, they're not DMing me for my indulgent meals on Sundays. They're like, wow, look at that salad. And I was like, I made a salad look this good. Like, really? Because it's more so knowing how to season, and that's what I want to do. Like when I'm teaching people, for me, it's not about what am I missing out on by not having this. It's, wow, this salad, it tastes so good. This dressing is amazing. And just knowing how to do things like that was very important to me.
Before moving on, what would you say are your like top do's and don'ts when doing the keto diet?
For me, I take the concept of keto. I'm never strict. I'm not one. This is the only thing I'm doing for the rest of my life. I would say if that's what you want to do, then follow a keto book that does exactly that. For me, I believe in making it a lifestyle. So taking it with a grain of salt. So with me, the main thing that I learned from keto is that I love to have good quality proteins, great veggies that are non-starchy, non-grainy, and limiting my sugar, which has done wonders, and adding incredible fats such as avocado is in my eating regimen every single day, nuts and seeds and things like that. So just really keeping that with a grain of salt, if that's what you want to do, and limiting the processed foods and the processed meats, because a lot of times keto can get a bad rap with saying, oh, I can have this. Oh my God, I don't even know what they're called, but one time a person told me, and I was like, it isn't a package and it can be stored for 2 years. Don't eat that. Just don't eat it.
Yeah.
So it's just having that flexibility. It all, like, I don't like to look at it as one-way street. Here's what you want to do, but take it with a grain of salt. I think with all certain type of diets out there, you can learn something from it and to implement it to make it your own.
I love that.
So fun fact, actually, going back, I've actually been very blessed. I've met a lot of good friends at concerts, and Sarah.
So moral here is go to concerts.
Okay, we have a couple more. Let's go to concerts. Go to Vegas.
Go to Vegas. Okay.
No, but Sarah and I actually happened to meet at a Prince Royce concert, right?
Good.
Were you? For those of you who don't know either, were you training Royce at the time?
I was actually hired as his trainer I was hired as his trainer on tour. So I was traveling across the United States as his trainer, getting him ready for shows, getting him ready for, oh my God, he was training for the New York Marathon at that point. And
Are you a runner?
I'm not a runner. Only if I see like my favorite, like
the ice cream truck.
Tequila truck for me. Right? If there was one, I'd be running after it. But for me, I actually got the phone call from his manager 5 days before going on tour. And I was supposed to leave for 5 weeks. And she called me and she was like telling me, asking me about my background, and my background incorporates sports training. I worked over at Notre Dame High School with the football team as a strength and conditioning coach, USC, Sierra Canyon, and I had those under my belt, all these things that, they like to hear, especially when it is a male, where they want to know, does she know like athletic stuff? Because female trainers get this kind of like rap. And I was asked the question, have you ever ran a marathon? And I said, no. And she said, have you coached for a marathon? And I said, yes. And I hadn't. I definitely had not, but I had.
But you're like, I know where this is going.
But I know where this is going, and I am going to get this job because I'm going to do whatever it takes, because I'm smart. I have my degree in kinesiology, and I'm going to figure this out. And because I've trained with so many different sports, the biomechanics and things like that, there's a lot of similarities, and I know what to look out for when it comes to certain things, when it comes to form and things like that. So I said yes, and then I got hired, and then I hired a top marathon coach to teach me everything that he knew and give me his booklet so I can study it and learn how I'm going to train him.
And this was 5 days before?
5 days before. And have to get onto my first day of working with him looking like I knew exactly what I was doing. And I did, because I wanted that job so badly. And we got along great. It was a great opportunity for me. I got to meet amazing people along the way. And I was dubbed one of the best trainers that he had, especially for that tour. So I'm very, very grateful for that.
Wow.
I remember when I was training with Sarah, we would train super early, and I never dreaded the workouts. Like they were simple enough in the sense where it's not like, oh, give me 1,000 sit-ups. It was like, okay, we're gonna do this. You're gonna feel the burn, and it's gonna burn enough. Exactly.
Yeah. So I will actually want to touch base on that aspect where you're like, it was simple, and that's what it is. It doesn't have to be where you're doing a somersault into a squat and all these things that you see on social media and all these like challenges. And I'm like, go back to the basics. And anything that you do, go back to the basics, and taking the basics, learning the fundamentals truly. And then knowing what to do from there gradually is the most important thing. I think people get so intimidated with working out because they see so many crazy things online. And I'm like, I don't even do that. And I don't know why you're doing that. But if you do these things and don't take it for granted, knowing the core things that work, yes, it's redundant, but it works. And the reason why people fall off track is because they're like, oh, it's boring. I don't want to do this. But it's like, it works. It works. And if you feel that it's so boring, throw in on your active recovery day a dance class, a Zumba class, a cycling
like
class, something. Do that, and that's how you can just change it up.
I think this is the moment.
I was going to say, I was about to go into, because I have a question, but I think this kind of goes off on the rapid fire healthy questions. How does someone start? Like someone that literally, they don't go to the gym, they don't really healthy, and they want to start living a healthy lifestyle. What would you recommend?
I would recommend, I'm going to give a couple of recommendations just because every single person is different. Number one, do something of movement that makes you smile, makes you feel good. Just get moving. That's it. Number one. Number two, get an accountability partner. Say, hey, Cindy, I want to go to the gym on this day. What do you think? Like, can you join me? Let's keep each other accountable. Let's hold to it, because you're less likely to flake on your friend unless you're just like a very flaky person. And that's not in my character, and neither of you guys is. So it's like, if you make that a commitment. Third, write it down. Schedule it in for yourself the same way you would schedule in work things. And if you fall off, it's okay. Get back to it tomorrow. Don't wait till Monday.
What about eating wise? Would you say cut this out, or what do you suggest? My
main thing I would say when it comes to eating, stick to whole, clean foods. If you turn it around and it has like 10 different ingredients, probably you should put it on the lower part of that totem pole of like what you should have. Your sugars should go at the lower portion of that totem pole, and make it fun with flavors. So just play with seasoning and stop giving healthy foods and salads a bad rap, because there's so much good behind it.
I love that. Second, rapid fire question. What do you suggest for cleansing your body? Like what could we do to cleanse our body?
Yeah, I ate so bad this weekend. What do I do?
Do I starve myself tomorrow?
For me, and what works for me, I like to sometimes throw in intermittent fasting. So that means my eating regimen would be from 12 to 8. Okay. And I would fast during the morning and do like a fasted cardio, some running, and some sort of an exercise that gets me moving. Sometimes it's hard for me if I have a high intensity workout to work out while I'm fasting. So doing a lower intensity and fasting, and then just taking out the sugars completely in the indulgent meals until I feel like, okay, I got a good reset, and then I could reintroduce it once a week. Okay.
So what do you usually break your fast with?
Oh my God. I honestly, no matter what time of the day it is, my first meal has to be eggs.
Oh wow! Really?
I'm not kidding you. I don't care. It has to be eggs. It's just like, I love eggs. So if I turn it into an egg salad, like I do easy boiled eggs, soft boiled eggs, on top of arugula, little bit of quinoa underneath it, and avocado, salsa roja, and then some pumpkin seeds on top, and there's my meal right there. That's something that I could do. Or I could just keep it very simple and do 2 hard-boiled eggs, a little bit of coconut yogurt, and berries, and again, I love seeds, so hemp seeds on top, and half a avocado, and that's another way for me to break my fast.
Okay, what would you say are what would you suggest for healthy snack ideas?
I like to think of snacks as a need basis. If you feel you need it,
Okay.
Because a lot of the times you don't, you feel like you do. And most of the times it's because you haven't had enough water and you're so thirsty. But if you are having a longer day or you've been way more active, then I would say always keeping on deck non-perishable foods like, my goodness, nuts, walnuts. They're amazing. It looks like a brain. It's good for your brain. So a lot of the foods that are stimulated that look like those kinds of parts for us, it's really important because of that. So I like that. Homemade granola that I make, where it's not really with grains. It's my goodness, what do I make it with? Coconut flakes, unsweetened. What is it? Walnuts, obviously. Almonds, cashews. Those are all things that I like to keep on deck. A good grass-fed beef jerky, grass-fed, a good quality kind, and then
fruits.
You could do fruits as well, but I like to stick to berries, like the berry family, and just looking at it as, about a fourth of a cup or half a cup, depending on, again, your activity level.
Okay. And lastly, do you say that we should stop would you suggest to stop eating at a certain time? Like, should we not eat? Like, there's so many things, like, don't eat past 7 p.m.
Your last meal?
Yeah.
I don't live so structured when it comes to that, because my schedule can change at any given time. And the best advice that I can give for that is do what works best for you. Do what works best for you. As simple as that sounds, every single body is different. What works for me may not work for you. You can get an idea of what I do and test it out, which is what I've done throughout my entire life, is test out different theories, test out different diets out there, and then put together what works for me. So on some days, if I'm doing intermittent fasting, 8 p.m. is my last meal. And if I'm not doing that and I started way earlier, like if my day starts at 5 a.m., my last meal is usually at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. latest.
I think that now we're motivated. We're inspired.
No, I don't think I know.
Well, then now we got to commit. After this episode. No, seriously though, this is something, and it's sad because it's like, I feel like it's something that I've been putting off, which is my health. Like, that is not something we should ever put off. And like you said, start where you are. And I think now's our time. And I feel excited. I feel excited because I genuinely feel so inspired. I already follow you, but now we need to go grocery shopping, girl.
Invite me, please. We'll go live on Tell Me Poquito Más.
Yeah.
It's healthy shopping.
No, but seriously, I feel like these are things that we hear all the time, but you reframe it in a way where I'm inspired and it's doable. It doesn't feel far-fetched. I don't feel like, I can't live a healthy. I know I could. I know I could. I know
I gotta go on a diet now.
I know I love salads. I just need to figure out how to make them fun and creative. Well, I don't have to figure it out. I just need to follow you. Well, I do follow you. I just need to follow the recipe. So you really lay it all out for us. So thank you so much.
Yes.
No excuses.
I'm inspired, and not health-wise, and your stories, man. We heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Like, literally, if you want it, you will find a way. You will figure it out. You told us it started with the book. It started with Prince Royce. I wish we had more time because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of more stories that you have. So we've learned so much. We are so inspired. So we thank you so much for all your tips, for all your motivating words,
your wisdom.
Thank you for having me. You two have amazing energy, and I just love to be able to be a part of this, and am truly grateful you have me on here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we invite you guys to share this video with your friends, with your family, with just everyone you know.
Everybody, please.
If you're not subscribed yet, we are available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. And like, comment, share. And again, Sarah, thank you so much. And until next time, bye.